Hey, what's up? This is BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on July 2025. How's it going, everybody?
Doing pretty great. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good, like really good right now. Everything is great. As long as my allergies cooperate, we're going to be great. But the game show is a celebration of video games and our collective interests, mixed with a healthy dose of humor, while bringing in our favorite people in the game and movie industries on as guests, except not tonight, because we hate everyone. That's actually not true.
Hey, that's not true.
There's a very select group of people that we hate.
I do feel out of place up here in the right quadrant. I don't know what to do.
I know.
I want to keep looking over here.
I got here a little bit later than usual, so I had to make the scene really quickly. And to get them to trade places, like, I just had to do it really quick. So I'm sorry. It's probably really foreign to be up there on the top right. Jess has been kind of parked down the bottom left for a while, just because that's the easiest place to put her.
It feels pretty normal for me. So.
Dang.
So there you go. There you go. But broadcasting to you in 4K yet again. So God's willing, that'll keep going. But Jack, how are you doing this evening? Are you doing well?
I am doing very well. I've got a bonanza of games at my disposal, including Donkey Kong Bonanza. So
I immediately thought banana. So when you said bonanza,
that's the point.
Yes, you tricked my brain.
Yeah, but I know. Just been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, hanging out with family, and just delivering more packages in Death Stranding. I don't know what's wrong with me.
You didn't have a job at FedEx when this is all over. And Jess, how are you doing this evening?
Not a whole lot going on. It's taking longer than I thought it would to get settled back after being out of town for a month. So I feel like I'm in this really weird, in between place of not being particularly productive and feeling like I'm out of routine. But it's been a little bit better this week. Got a little bit of work done, some writing done, a little bit of video games. So it's good overall.
Nice.
That sounds like a great week. Getting things done and video games. It's a good and unusual sometimes combination. So that's nice.
I'm trying not to get too used to it.
Yeah. Whenever things are good, don't get used to it, because then your hopes get too high. I'm just kidding. Jack looked disappointed in me. Logan, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good, yeah. Things have been kind of crazy. Lots of stuff came up on my freelance all at once, and then there's also going to be a shoot in LA that I'm going out for next week, so I'm going to be gone.
Fabuloso.
But yeah, there's just a lot going on right now, but it's all fun and exciting.
Nice.
So yeah.
That is amazing. That so many things are happening in your neck of the woods. That's really fabulous. That's the way it's going to be. You know, assuming things are positive going forward.
Yep.
So.
There's one other thing. I think I made a post about it in Discord, but my short made it into the Los Angeles Liftoff Film Festival.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. Yeah.
Way to go.
I used to have sound effects, but I don't have a soundboard on this version yet. Otherwise, I'd be playing lots of applause and lots of happy things.
Just go get a Stream Deck, and then you just get the air horn button. Wah, wah, wah.
I get crazy with it. Do you remember when Q were you on the show when Q did a coin ding for everything that happened?
No, thank you.
Okay, it might have been before your time, but he had this idea. He wanted a soundboard, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. And then he literally drove Richie and Shadow nuts, because every other second it was like the Mario ding. I can't do the ding.
I have friends that do that.
Yeah,
in Discord.
Also,
there's a time and a place for the little incidental noises.
And it's more like once or twice in an hour and a half, and not 80,000 times.
You don't need to be the 6 o'clock sports radio DJ just hitting the button every time he gets a chance.
Right. And I want to mention, so Jack brought this up on the Discord, but Brutal Legend is free for the next 666 minutes as of 8:19 Central Time on itch.io to celebrate Ozzy Osbourne's life. So if you don't have that game, which it's a really fun game, man, I haven't played that in a long time. A really, really cool, fun game, especially if you like music.
Tell you what, talk about. I know I'm kind of not jumping to conclusions here, but talk about surprising games. Brutal Legend has one of the craziest in-game surprises that caught me totally off guard when it happened.
Nice. Can't spoil it because it's only like 20 years old.
I know, right? So, and it's free now, so everybody has no excuse to go play.
No excuses at all. But no, you should grab it, and so many people have said things, but Ozzy was obviously a legend, and that concert, the Back to the Beginning, is one of my favorite concerts I've ever seen. Like, that concert was amazing. So it's nice that he got at least a good send-off before his final send-off, and raised nearly $200 million for Parkinson's. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about video games.
Yes. Is that what we do here?
That is sometimes what we do. Sometimes what we do. People used to joke about that because we used to spend a lot longer on the intro portion of the show. And they used to joke about that we didn't talk about games on the game show, but we always did. It took us a little while to get there, a little meandering. But we're going to talk about the games that surprised us this evening. So games that surprised us in some way, could be good, could be bad. Could go lots of different ways. But and also we're going to talk about some story surprises. So
spoilers.
It's our first podcast. We're actually going to have some spoiler warnings for.
Oh yeah.
You do need a soundboard. Spoiler warning alert.
And if you like what you're seeing and hearing, give us a subscription there. Subscribe, like us. That would be much. We got a lot of subs actually in the last week and a half. So appreciate that. And if you do it, you'll appear here in the middle of the screen. Let me make sure that's active on this particular setup. But you'll show up. Yeah, Jack pointed right to it. You'll show up right in the middle of the screen. You get a nice little fun song, and you can comment. Which, by the way, Logan will be keeping up with the YouTube chat. So go ahead and chat with us on YouTube. And if you want to chat with us after the show, hit us up on Discord. Go to BreakmanX.com. Click Discord. We're all there, talking about our opinions, which are always 100% correct.
Mm. Never been any better opinions than ours.
Never been a better opinion. Ever. Right. At least that's what Logan says. All right.
Indeed. It's true.
All right. So let's dive right into it. So we'll talk about should we do good surprises and then a bad surprise to mix it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay.
I think
So
that's a good way to do it.
let's start with a good surprise. So for me, I'm going to give you the flip side of this coin here in a minute. But the original Legend of Zelda was a big surprise for me way back in the day. I'd kind of heard about Super Mario Brothers, and I knew, it still was amazing to me and super impressive and all of that. But the Legend of Zelda, I'd kind of heard about it, and I'd played other games, like I'd seen Adventure, and I don't know, Jack, if you liked Adventure, but Adventure to me,
it's cool.
Was just, for me at least, was just not quite developed enough for me to get super into it. And so I was like, okay, it's going to be another game. I'm going to be a box walking around trying to find keys. And in a way, that is kind of what you do. But no, I remember going down into my neighbor's basement, and it had just come out. And first of all, it was gold. So like, that was pretty cool that it was a gold cartridge. That was pretty rad. And then beyond that, seeing the gameplay, I was like really I think if you haven't played, although HPR Shredder kind of had this opinion of it too, but it really felt like complete freedom. I was used to single screen games or side scrollers at that time, and a game that you could literally seemingly go anywhere. and it felt like this grand adventure. And then I started looking at the manual, and it's still my favorite manual. Like, I love that. Or I bought the Legend of Zelda art collection pretty much for that, and then I bought a manual from that game because I love the art. And it came with a map because they thought Americans were too dumb to be able to find their way around the game, which, you know, not gonna say anything. But no, it just felt like you could go anywhere, and I just was amazed. They were pretty far in it, so I remember they went to the graveyard, which I just thought, I always loved anything ghost or horror in video games, especially during that period. So that was really cool. And then all of a sudden you went into dungeons, and it was this whole other thing. And then the music was so captivating. Like that opening theme, I play it for my students. That opening shot of the title, and like I just have to sit there and let it play because it's so even in the NES's simple sound chip, it sounds so good, and you just know that you're about to go on this super amazing grand adventure. And I've kind of gone back and forth whether it still holds up today, but I am in the camp now firmly that it does hold up today. You have to have a little bit of the expectation that you're not going to have your handheld, and less of an A to B game, but a game that you're really just going to wander around and explore, you know, and figure out things slowly. And if you have that kind of expectation, it's a little bit anachronistic. I think you'll have a good time. But yeah, that game totally surprised me. I was not expecting it. I was not expecting to like it or video games that much, to be honest with you. And it forever, I begged for that game. And I've been obsessed ever since, until a certain day, which we'll talk about later.
So let me ask you real quick, Bray.
Yeah.
So when you saw it for the first time, had you just gotten an NES, or had you had an NES for a while?
I don't think we had an NES yet. We would rent. We didn't have any consoles at the time because we got the Atari got sold. But you could rent NESs for pretty cheap, and we would rent it, you know, every so often. And so like I'd played it, but I hadn't played that type of game. And then we got an NES. I think we begged for it, and we got it for Christmas.
Nice.
So
cool.
It was about that time.
Gotcha.
If I was pretty little, so I hope I'm getting the timeline right, but feels right to me.
Yeah, Zelda is always one of those games, at least the original Legend of Zelda is one of those games where, yeah, it's a very similar to Super Mario Brothers in that there's nothing really like it on the platform. Maybe you could make some weird argument about like Hide Glide, but I think even Legend of Zelda comes before that. So like, there's really nothing, like you said, there's adventure and there's Legend of Zelda, and there's really not much in between that kind of gives you that freedom just to kind of go do whatever you want. Hey, you want to go try to find the last dungeon? Be our guest, but you're going to get your butt kicked if you decide to try to go in there.
Well, and I do nothing too. Like it was before I read video game magazines. That changed pretty much right then. Before I knew I didn't know anything. I was just like, this is an amazing. If I hadn't read Lord of the Rings yet, like it was completely a fresh.
Did you learn the Nintendo hotline number after playing Legend of Zelda?
I would never. My parents would never have let me call a 900 number. I would have been so in trouble. But I wanted to really badly.
I think didn't it start as an 800 number and then they changed it to a 900 number after they got like.
You could be right. I would have probably not known the difference at that point in my life. But no, I did get Nintendo Power. Around that time too. Nice. I think the first one I got was it was one of the first issues. I don't have them anymore, unfortunately. I still have a lot of my video game magazines, but I don't have those original Nintendo Powers except in PDF form. So
yeah,
Nintendo needs to be like EGM and have an online archive that you can see them all.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Jester Logan did. I mean, yeah, obviously Zelda had been out for a while before you guys were born. But like, is it surprising at all to you when you look at it now? Like, just with everything else in context?
I think it's surprising with context of like adventure really being the only other game around like it at the time. I think it's surprising just how much more evolved in general it is than adventure, because I have played adventure. I could not figure it out. But just by comparison, like it truly is light years ahead in terms of like graphics and gameplay wise. They just made massive strides for the RPG genre.
And that Super Mario Brothers original and Legend of Zelda are the games really that made me gamers, because I wasn't really interested in games before that. Like Atari to me just wasn't that interesting.
Well, I would take it a step further too. Like, you know, you talk about adventure being the only thing kind of like it, and like you couldn't figure it out. It's like, well, you know, like us, you know, old timers that had to deal with the Atari 2600 and those early 4-bit platforms. I mean, like we were basically playing with like, you know, a single arm. Like we forced ourselves to figure out how to play a lot of those games because they were just terrible. But they were like, that's what we had to play, and it was fine. And I'll go find some pain medicine for my back here in just a sec.
I don't think we let Jess answer.
No, we didn't. Sorry.
Zelda. Zelda is also one of the first ones that really starts to put like world building and the idea of narrative and like a main thing for games as well. Because everything before that, like the Atari, I played like most of the Atari games, and you know, there's no narrative to it. There's no story. It's just, you know, as basic as it can be because it's where we started out. And I feel like, to me, Zelda, and I got the timelines all wrong, but like Zelda stands out in my brain as the game that really like shifted into, okay, now there's characters that you really care about, and there's an entire world that you really care about, and like it's a story, and you're trying to, like, that's just as important as the gameplay. And so I've always thought that like Zelda it's just super impressive of a game because it really kind of set the precedent for that in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
very true. And you know, that's when you started having game designers too, because before that you really just had the engineers are awesome, but you know, engineers doing everything isn't maybe the greatest idea. And
I think games like Adventure were made by I think Adventure was made by one person.
Yeah, a lot of Atari 2600 games, one guy or one gal, and that was it.
But yeah, such an amazing game. If you haven't played it, I recommend you playing. If you're on the fence, check out HPR Shredder's video on it, because I think having a perspective on it from someone that has no nostalgia for it whatsoever, that didn't grow up with it, I think is really valuable. Because like you could listen to me and be like, yeah, you were like 5 when you played it, and it's a good memory for you and all that, and that's all true. But having him who didn't grow up with it, I think is a very powerful opinion. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I've talked about Zelda a lot. Jack.
Yeah.
This is a cool one.
Yeah, so one of my biggest surprises, my biggest good surprises in gaming ever has been Katamari Damacy. So for those of you who don't know, Katamari Damacy originally showed up on the PS2. It was a Japanese game made by Keita Takahashi and a team of folks over at Namco. There's nothing, well, other than the other Katamari games that came out from the sequels and everything like that. There's really nothing like it. There was nothing like it at the time. I saw this little game. I was working at the video game store at the time, and I saw this little package show up. It was a PS2 game, and it was a bright blue cover, and it had this gigantic ball with this like little like paper craft dude on the front. And I was just like, okay, this looks interesting. It's only $20. Absolutely, let's go check this thing out. And next thing I knew, like, I was rolling up everything from dusk till dawn for like the next 2 weeks. It's not a long game. I mean, there is a reason it's a $20 game, but it is so much fun. There's so much character in that game. The music's amazing. Just the simplicity of it all. Like, it's like tank controls with both analog sticks, and you just use those. You use the triggers, and there's something really sublime about just figuring out when your ball is big enough, when your Katamari is big enough to pick up the next like size of objects, and it's really, really satisfying to start like you're picking up like pieces of sushi, and then like not even 3 minutes later, you're like, oh my gosh, it's big enough, I can start picking up people. All right, here we go. And then the next thing you know, you're picking up cars and whales, and it's there's nothing quite like it other than the other Katamari games. And it was such a surprise to me. Like, I had such a huge grin ear to ear for like the next 3 weeks when I was playing it. between the soundtrack, between the gameplay, there really was like something about that combination that really just tickled the back of my head and tickled that dopamine center in my head. That it's the coolest thing ever. The fun, yeah, the fun stages, the little specialty stages where it's like, hey, we need to build a tire planet, so pick up all the tires in the world. Things like that are just really, really cool. And if you haven't played Katamari, go pick it up. I strongly recommend it. It's one of the coolest things that just kind of grabbed me out of nowhere. And to this day, if they put out another Katamari game or a re-release of one of the first like 3 Katamari games, I'm there day one because I know the music's going to be awesome. I know the gameplay is going to be fun, and it's going to be just a hoot and a half with just a little, with the writing and just the character of it all. It's a fun series. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be. Jack said about the same thing 19 years ago, and it made me go to Best Buy right after the show, and I bought it. I still have it too. Same copy. It's really good.
I've got it around here somewhere.
But that was a game. Jack was like talking about how you roll things up, and I'm like, that does not sound fun to roll around in a ball and like roll things up. That sounds. But he was so passionate about it, just like he just was, and he was right. It was a lot of fun, and I was forever I think that's the best one though. The first one.
I think the second one's probably the best. We Love Katamari. That one's my favorite because
I'm gonna have to play it again.
They bring all of this, the Prince of All Cosmos' cousins in, but then they also make the King of All Cosmos like even more of a dick, which is just like they really lean into it a lot, and it's pretty great. Like I showed my kids it when I think Alex was like 4 or 5, and the King of All Cosmos, when I failed a level, scared her half to death because he got very angry and started shooting lasers from sides. It was kind of funny.
Trauma's always funny. Not really. Had to cough on that one. All right. Well, moving for some really fun and surprising games so far. Some good choices. Logan.
Yeah. So my pick is a game called Choo Choo Charles. Kind of hit the internet by storm here recently. And I've been following the development of this game, created by an independent single developer named Two Star. And just the whole game was the surprising part was just how polished it was, because this really was just like one guy building the game on Unreal Engine, and it took him like a year to year and a half. And it was a really solid, like kind of terrifying experience. It's a weird like horror game, like kind of twisted Thomas the Train kind of vibe. And there's just something so deliciously creepy about this train, like
delicious.
Crawling,
You said it.
Yeah,
that's the best word.
Crawling over the landscape, and it's amazing.
Isn't that developer? Isn't he based in St. Louis, or isn't that studio based in St. Louis?
I'm not sure. He's been working on another game lately. It's like a multiplayer, interesting little like jailbreak game called Cuff Bus, with like these little like teddy bear like creatures that are breaking out of jail and causing chaos. And I think he's still like, he kind of is the only employee at his company, and he will like hire independent contractors as needed now to fill out the team, but he's like still the company. But yeah, you can follow his devlogs, just Two Star on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah, he's been making games for a while. But yeah, just the surprising bit was how fun that game was. I was just very impressed.
Nice. But one thing also, just to mention really quick, it's really fun to be surprised by a game. Like, you go in with so many expectations, especially now. You know, you're so used to, especially games are, you know, not quite as punk rock as they used to be. So there's a little bit of homogenization going on. And So when a game comes along and like really surprises you, it's a pretty rad thing, and it doesn't happen nearly as often as it used to. So, at least for me, maybe I'm jaded.
Might be a little bit of that. I still think there's room for like good indie games and things like that to kind of pop up. And like,
I'm not
really
saying it doesn't happen. It used to happen more often, I think.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that for sure.
But it is really awesome to be able to just enjoy things and not be super critical of them. I don't know, Jess or Logan, if you've experienced going to movies with other, and Jack too, with other film students. It can be really awful because like everyone's so critical after the movie, and it's just like, okay, so how much did you make a movie that was that good? Because like, you know, you're kind of crapping. I mean, it's perfectly okay to be critical of movies. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it's fun just to go to a movie and not like analyze it and just be able to sit and enjoy it, and then maybe later, when you're applying it to your own work, analyze it. But
yeah,
I feel like you gotta kind of split your brain into two sides there. The one that just like wants to enjoy the movie, and the other side that is going to like actually like.
Well, it becomes a competition sometimes too. Like who can say like the most brilliant negative thing?
See,
I may have done that once or
careful
twice before.
We're all guilty.
because
Sorry, Jess.
I really struggle to like turn off that critical brain is the writer in me, and so I very rarely can I go to a movie that's like fun and just like have fun, and so I always have to make sure that like we set the tone beforehand, and then I'm just like, if I'm not into it, like everyone else, like hey, you can just skip me. I have opinions, and I don't think anybody here needs to hear them right now, so we're good.
Yeah, it can be hard, especially when you're in like grad school, like because you're constantly having to do that all the time, and it's hard to turn it off. But it's good if you can at some point just enjoy things.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
Logan can attest to the like hour-long conversation we had just the other day about all of my current gripes with the MCU.
Yeah.
How much fun I am.
I had a great time in that conversation.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I love I mean, you know, I teach classes. Like I love going deep in depth with movies, but when I go see them, I don't always want to like attack it right away. I like to let it sit. I like to let it sit for a little bit.
I don't know if any of you have this experience, but I usually find when I go watch a movie, like for the first time, if I'm going to see it in a movie theater, or even if I'm watching it at home, like I'm just kind of like turn my brain off. I'm gonna watch this thing and just enjoy it for what it is, and then maybe like if I get in like 45 minutes to an hour in, and like I think this thing is really good, then my brain kind of kicks over and like starts analyzing it a little bit heavier, and then like I'll go back and watch it a second time. And that's really when I'll start to kind of dive into that a little bit more with a critical eye and just kind of see what I think there.
It's fun to do both. Fun to do both, for sure. Not trying to crap on either situation. It's nice to be able to do both.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Jess, actually, I like this choice too.
So I want to start by saying I have a lot of video games that like I really love, but I'm also the kind of person I'm very like picky about the games that I choose, especially nowadays when I like don't have any time and hardly get to play games. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's a lot of games that I'm like I absolutely adore them, but it's not necessarily surprising to me that I adore them because I fully expected it going into it. Mm-hmm. So I tried to like reach for games that almost kind of like hear me out, so like kind of weird. And they're from like my childhood, so it's been a minute since I've played them, so maybe they don't hold up very well. But my first one is the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom for Xbox.
Nice.
That is a good game.
I mean, those THQ SpongeBob games, man, they cranked them out, but some of them are really good.
So it's the only SpongeBob game that I've played, and I don't know what year it came out, so I don't know how old I was, but I had a younger brother that loved SpongeBob, right? And so for me, it was like, oh, it was a game like everybody could play, and I just kind of expected to be like, whatever. And then I ended up like really loving it. And I played that game so much, like I actually think I beat it multiple times
Nice.
as a child, and I feel like it's probably still been like about a decade. But at one point, I got like a refurbished Xbox, and I played the game again, and I did still like it, and I was like an adult at that point, and so I feel moderately confident claiming that it's actually a decent game.
Is it one of those games for you where you come back to it and play like once a year or something like that at this point?
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. Anything off of the original Xbox, because it was the first console that our family owned. Like we played other ones, but it was the first one that we had. And I just remember so much time as a kid, like in the basement, playing with my brother and my dad, and it being like such a fun like family thing. And I just remember really loving the SpongeBob one. And SpongeBob in general is something that I kind of like rolled my eyes at as a child. Because again, my brother was like super into it, and I'm like, I have to be cooler than you and not think this is cool. And like as an adult, I literally will go back and watch like old SpongeBob episodes and be mildly horrified about the fact that I can quote pretty much the entire thing, even if I haven't seen it in 20 years.
That's how I got BreakmanX into that generation of games. Because they love
That's
SpongeBob.
amazing.
I'm not a SpongeBob fan. In fact, I'm quite the opposite. I just never have been able to get into it. I love like a lot of retro Nickelodeon. Actually, I think Geraldine Laybourne, the CEO of Nickelodeon from '89 to '96, was like one of the best television CEOs of all time. It was super punk rock period in TV. They hired like independent animation studios for like all the different cartoons. Anyway, so I do like a lot of the animation there. But I do not like SpongeBob. It just never hit it for me. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or it's a bad show. It just did not do anything for me at all. But that game I do like. So that's how good the game is. Like, I don't like the source material, and I actually think the game is pretty well done. And so I found that on like a hidden gem video. Might have been Metal Jesus Rocks. Many years ago, and I was like, gotta try this game out. And they loved it. In fact, he starts it over a lot just to play from the game. And they remade it in 2020. I haven't replayed the remake. Have you played the remake, Jack, or anybody?
I have not.
I haven't played either of them, but I've even heard that like it has a very good reputation. A lot of people really love it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are young enough where SpongeBob isn't really a thing, but man, let me tell you anything about like Big City Greens or just about any Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone thinks this, but I feel like I grew up in like the golden age of like children's TV.
It was pretty good, but I think just about everybody can say.
I think
that.
everyone thinks that. Yeah, that's the thing, and I can admit that. But yeah, go SpongeBob. Even though I'm not a fan of you, it's a good game. It's a good game. All right, let's talk about some not so good things. Okay, so my first bad surprise goes back to the Electronic Entertainment Expo. I don't remember what year they showed it off, but it was a year I was there. And I love
2006.
That sounds about right. I think that's right, 2006. So I love Zelda, as I just mentioned. I loved every Zelda entry. I will say Twilight Princess had been my least favorite Zelda up to that point, even though I beat it and liked it. But I remember being at E3, and I was always, as Jack can attest, pretty stoked when Miyamoto came out. Pretty excited. May have screamed, may have squealed. And he came out to show Skyward Sword. And I loved the look of it. I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. It's a nice marriage between the cel-shaded style and the more realistic style. It's kind of in the middle. It looks kind of interesting. And then he started showing off the waggle, and it didn't work. 2010. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, Jack. But yeah, the waggle didn't work. And like, if Miyamoto can't do it, it's going to be hard for me to do it. and they blamed it on like interference and things.
But hey, it had Wiimote Plus. It had the plus, so it wouldn't have to do any of that stuff, right?
Yeah,
right.
It was awful. I'm sorry to the people that I know a lot of people love Skyward Sword, and I don't want to like say that it's a terrible game. If you like it, that's great, and I hope you love it forever. But it's the first Zelda game that I didn't like. And then after the presentation went awry, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe it was interference. Maybe it will play better when you play it. And then I went to the show floor and played it at the Nintendo booth, and they had the beetle thing that you fly around, and like that thing is a pain in the ass. Like that is not fun to me at all to fly that thing around. And to get things, it's a really cool. I like the concept. I like the idea, but the waggle is just terrible. And I tried the remake on Switch, and still didn't really like it. If they could do that game without the waggle, I think I would like it significantly better, at least. Although I still just don't think it's a great Zelda game. Like compared to all and then I was like, do I just not like Zelda anymore? No, I went back and played the other ones, still like Zelda.
I'm kind of right there with you, man. Like Skyward Sword, I won't say it surprised me because, like you said, I kind of saw it coming. Like when between the E3 presentation and some other stuff, like it just didn't seem like it was lining up to be what you really wanted. And then getting into it, like I suffered through it. Like there's so much repeat. Like you go to the same worlds like twice. Oh hey, this time there's a little less water in there, so you have access to more things. Or you've got this new you have a new ability or a new tool, you can go back and see a little bit more. But you still got to fight through the same stupid things, and you still have to get to the same ending. That the ending is, I think, is well worth it because it is pretty different from a lot of the other Zelda games. I mean, you still fight a big bad evil, but it's very, very different.
I also didn't like
the
boss fights. I can't remember what his name is now, but the guy that like you have to swing everything just right to dodge him and then hit him. Like that could be really cool, but I just feel like it's implemented like really poorly. It's so unusual for, at least for me, for Nintendo to do that, especially with a mainline series. So it's just confusing. Like I just don't like waggle. I don't want to wave my hands around. I just don't, Link can swing the sword and that's great. I didn't like it in the Wii version of Twilight Princess. I actually like it better than Skyward Sword, but I would just much rather push a button to swing a sword.
Yeah. Now, when I played this the Switch version, I thought I might have the same feelings, but it's still like the gameplay. There's too much tutorialization.
Yep.
It takes way too long for the game to get going, and then you're repeating a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And what's really a shame about the whole thing is it's got some of the best music in the entire series.
It does have good music.
Some of the themes in there are just fantastic, but you've really got to suffer through that game to get any of it. And it's really disappointing for sure.
Everyone has a bomb every once in a while, and they seem to have been good Zeldas since. Now I can agree after maybe that's why I didn't like Breath of the Wild, because Skyward Sword left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. But now that I love Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom might be good too. I don't know. We'll see.
It is. It's really good.
So there you go.
I've heard that like Tears of the Kingdom, like it can be a love or hate kind of a thing. It depends on if you like the new just customization system they've got going on.
If you like building stuff out of nothing, like if you like the Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, man, that is the game for you. Like you can. Game. Oh man, like you can. I love nuts and bolts. Like it's one of my favorites. That's my favorite Banjo-Kazooie game.
I like building things, but not in games for some reason. I don't know why. Like I love building computers or like the little projects we do around the house. For some reason in games, because for me, like building something in real life, there's like a really tangible reward. And for me in a video game, I just don't get that. Although I feel a sense of reward for lots of other things in games, so I don't know why that particular one doesn't. But I just don't really feel that rewarded building things. But I haven't played it yet. I can't say if I don't like it or not, because it could be like Katamari Damacy and like rolling around sounds dumb, and then it's really really fun. So I don't know.
No.
So, and that's why you never take a description of a game. Like, think about it. Like Super Mario Brothers, you're a plumber running around like stepping on turtles. Doesn't
Boring.
sound. Yeah, right. Or like rolling around, and you have to see how it's actually executed. The execution is everything.
It's everything.
All right, Jack, tell me about something you hate.
All right, so you guys all know I am a huge Castlevania fan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Me and Maul both absolutely love the.
I like Castlevania
series.
too.
I know you do too, and you actually will appreciate this. So
I have a
how much
Castlevania thing on my wall back there, man.
you know how much I really, really, really wanted to play Dracula X Rondo of Blood when it did not come out to the United States way back when it was released for the PC Engine. Due to translation and a whole bunch of other factors, like the PC Engine not being popular over here.
Right.
But I got a little bit of hope in like 1993 or 1994, and I found at my local Blockbuster, I had no clue it was coming out. I found Dracula X for Super Nintendo sitting on the shelf. Picture of Richter Belmont right in front of me. I was just like, this is the game. They made it for Super Nintendo. They somehow ported it. Oh my God, I got to get this. Let's go home and play it. And what proceeded after that was, I think, the most disappointing 5 days I've ever had with a video game.
Poor Jack.
Like it is not like, okay, so me, even in, as a 12-year-old or whatever, however old I was, like I hadn't played Rondo of Blood. I didn't know what I was missing, but when I saw it, I thought this thing was just one of the worst Castlevania games ever. Like I like all of them to that point. They'd all been great, but there was something about this one in particular that just it didn't feel right. The special moves, the all of the special weapons didn't feel right. The game was too hard. There were like different paths that didn't make any sense. There were some parts I just couldn't get through. And it was like at that point I had really gone off the deep end and just was really disappointed with that game. And I kind of swore off Castlevania for a little bit.
Oh my God.
Like the 64 games were terrible too. So
they were really bad.
I didn't really miss much, but by the time Symphony of the Night came out, well, I guess that was around the same time as the 64 games, but I digress. Like Castlevania Dracula X is a terrible, terrible game, and it surprised me because I thought it was one thing and I didn't get another. And it wasn't until at your place in Lawrence, many, many years later, finally got a chance to play the real thing. And you know what I found? My wife was cleaning out her office today, and I found the original CD.
Oh my God, I've seen that before.
I was like, I wonder if this thing still works, knowing that I have another copy somewhere else that actually I know works.
I am like a junkie for finding crap like that. Like that kind of stuff like tickles my dopamine sensor.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I found that thing and I was just like, I am going to go fire this up as soon as I get a PC.
Speaking of which, does this look familiar?
Yes. Yes.
The original BreakmanX microphone from 2002 and so on. Right here. Mm-hmm. It does not work anymore very well. It sounds muffled.
I imagine.
Much of our spit in there, probably. But it's so hard for me to imagine you swearing off Castlevania, but I do get it. I've heard people say that Dracula X isn't that bad, and you have to think of it as another game. But like, it's definitely for me at least the worst of the 2D final or Castlevania. Except I'm not a huge fan of the MSX one either.
The MSX one is, you just have to think of it. I think of it more like Goonies 2 for the NES than an actual Castlevania game. But yeah,
I think it's more the performance of it.
Different game for sure.
But yeah, Dracula X and those. And did you like the PS2 ones?
Yeah, the PS2 ones were fine. Like they were all right for what they were.
Yeah, I recently replayed Lament of Innocence.
That's the first one. Yeah, Lament of Innocence. It's got a good intro track. Like that first like area track is great, and then everything after that's kind of like eh.
It's fun. I mean, it's not as intricate, I would say, as the ones that preceded it that were good.
Yeah,
but it
Curse of
is
Darkness.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, Curse of Darkness, the one that came out after that, the one that came out on Xbox and PS2 was a little bit better. Like they figured some things out with Lament of Innocence that I think they learned from. And it's a little bit better, but yeah, those two 3D-ish Castlevania games they're okay.
We need more 2D Castlevania. I just found randomly on BreakmanX.com a big rant I had about 2D games in like 2008.
Ah,
It's called Saturn Ascends. You're gonna look up some of the Sega Saturn. And referencing Tool, of course. Ba-ba-ba-bum. All right, Logan.
Yes. So this is more like a particular moment for me that was really surprising in a bad way. But I've mentioned a few times before, I regularly host Minecraft servers for my friends. And this was probably about 5 years ago now that this happened. But at the time, didn't really know much about security and that kind of thing. And we encountered this crazy hacker who had used an IP brute forcing method. So they were literally like generating every possible IP and stumbled upon ours and were able to log into the server and just wreak havoc with hacks and stuff. And it was totally unexpected because I had no idea where this person was coming from, how they were able to get in. And I just kind of encountered a video online about people talking about it happening on other servers around the same time after that hack happened to us. I'm like, oh, that's what, and it was just weird. Like I that had not crossed my mind as something that could happen. Somebody would just have like a program running and try and find these random Minecraft servers going.
Weird to think that people are like just not like necessarily targeting like a specific person that they don't like, but just generally wanting to cause harm, and then randomly going for. I remember actually this one came up too because I was trying to find a specific picture, but I don't know if you remember, Jeff. We got hacked pretty hardcore in
I remember
04. The site really got like hacked bad, both the site and the forums. And then my PC got hacked at the same time. Like
I don't remember that part of it.
Yeah, the website got hacked, the forums got hacked, and I don't know if it was the same people. But then like a day or two after that, my PC like went completely dead. And it could be a coincidence, but it seemed very much like it had been attacked. It actually made me so mad that I switched to Mac. Like,
wow.
I went out and, I was kind of maybe not the smartest thing to do because who knows if the show would have worked on it. But I did go out and get a Mac, and luckily the show worked very well on it. And I now like Mac and PC equally. We're broadcasting on a PC right now. Yeah, I literally switched to a Mac. I was so mad that it got hacked. So I could have been on an Apple ad, but I wouldn't have wanted to because I hate that elitism. But yeah, screw those people that attacked your server, man.
Yeah, the lesson was just to. At the time, we had the server was kind of growing, so I didn't have like a whitelist on it or anything. Now I've just got a whitelist enabled all the time. That solved people from being able to randomly log on. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy that people would go around wanting to mess up random servers.
I was doing some app development for a while, and I had a server set up that handled all of our like versioning and we had our own. I set up an own email server, which I just wanted to do for fun for our email, and like a bunch of other things. And I would just watch, and we also hosted the website on it. I would you could watch the log, and you could watch people trying to like brute force their way in, trying to type in. This was before I knew about methods of preventing that. And then I stopped that. But then even then, and it was always at that point at least like China and Russia, like There were like tons of Chinese and Russian IPs that were constantly trying root passwords over and over and over and over, like all day, every day.
As someone in IT security now, I can tell you nothing beats the thought of a free email server that you can take control over.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, other than banking data, but that's besides the point.
It never did end up they never did actually getting it, at least that we know of. But they never caused any damage, at least.
Yeah. And looking at the log was actually how I found out that it was a hack that happened to the server, because I thought, like, at first it was like, did somebody just decide to, like, that was already on the server, decide to just install like a client and go mess things up? Because at the time we had a couple of people that were like kind of questionable on there. But then but then I went and checked the logs. I'm like, oh, I do not recognize this person. And that's what started to made me realize that this might be a bit of a deeper problem.
I hacked a multiplayer game once, but it's because I was mad at a very specific person. When I was in...
Got them Call of Duty hacks going?
No, this was early. This was 7th or 8th grade. It was Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight.
Oh.
And I can't even remember what the person did to make me mad. And it wasn't just the first time. It was someone we'd played with a lot. And so I literally went into the game and I found like a way to hack it. And you could literally make their monitor constantly like dim black and then turn back on in the game, and dim black and turn back on. Basically as like a force power. So I'd like go over and like lightning them. And then when they try to fight back, the monitor would get dark. And then they come back on and I'd lighten them some more. And then you can also send him into a death loop. So after I messed with him for that a little bit, I sent him into a death loop, so just constantly dying. And then I felt like, this is like really dumb. I shouldn't be doing this. I didn't do it again. But it was really fun for about 5 minutes. And they definitely deserved it. I don't know what they did, but they deserved it. They definitely deserved it. All right, man. Jess, tell me about something that you hate.
Okay. I'm a little nervous about both my picks because they're both very, very well-loved games. So I will start by saying that I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm saying that I was surprised that they didn't work for me because by all accounts, they felt like they should have.
It's totally okay to have different opinions.
No, I just... You'll see why. The first one that I'm going to go with is Baldur's Gate 3.
Maul just screamed from Vegas.
And it's crazy because by all accounts, I should love it. Like, Dragon Age is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. So there was like no question in my mind of like whether or not I was going to like Baldur's Gate 3. And so I got it. I got into it. And it took me a really long time to figure out why I don't love it. And I feel like I'm still missing like the exact reason. Like I still can't put my finger on it. Part of it is the turn-based combat. In general, I'm not just a big fan of turn-based combat. And with Baldur's Gate specifically, I feel like it has a tendency to go on super long.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately get bored very, very quickly. And so like the big fights when there's like 50 like stupid little bad guys that aren't hard, but there's so many of them, and I'm just like, why is this taking like 10 minutes for me to get through this fight?
Yep.
Like I'm dying here.
How many of these guys get to take a turn before I get to act?
Right. And it's like even more irritating because they're always super low level. They're not difficult enemies. And I'm like, if this was not turn-based, you would all be dead already and I would be moving on with my life. But instead, we're still here. And I'm still sitting through this rat attacking me for like the 12th time. So there's that aspect. The other thing I think it is that I have always been like aware of D&D and aware of the previous two Baldur's Gate games, especially 2. I didn't ever play it, but I was in the circles enough to like know things. And so like there's characters that show up in Baldur's Gate 3 that I'm like, I know who you are, kind of. And it's that kind of, I think, that gets to me. I'm the kind of person that like really goes hard on like war. And I will dive in so deep and get the tinfoil hat, and like it's my favorite thing to do. Really, don't
We
get me
have that in
started on
common.
Dragon Age. Like I will rant forever about Dragon Age, like that kind of thing, and I love doing that. And so I think a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 for me is like running into things and things happening, and me being like, I bet that's really cool. I'm lacking the knowledge to like understand why this is so cool. And like you get a little bit of it, but I've just never been the kind of person that likes to jump into something that's like so long-standing.
There is a little bit of, I mean, yeah, like you do have to kind of know a little bit of D&D to get the most out of Baldur's Gate 3, but like, yeah, I can see where that would have some.
The thing is that I have like some of the knowledge, but I don't have any of the emotional investment.
Yeah.
For instance, like this like logical thing of me being like, that's really cool. I know that's really cool, but like it doesn't do anything for me personally experiencing it. So I think that's what I'm going up against.
I can see that.
And also, sometimes things just don't jive with you. Like, things can... That's something that I wish I would have realized earlier. Things can be awesome. They can be great. They can be well-designed. And you don't like it. And that's totally fine. Like, things... It's okay to not like things that, like, lots of people love. And vice versa. So I applaud you for, and it actually inspired me to add one to mine that we probably won't get to in the time frame, but one that will undoubtedly upset a few people.
Yeah, I do want to say I do like the game. I just don't love it, and I felt like I should have. I'm not saying that I like hate the game. It just was not what I anticipated it.
It was surprising how much you were ambivalent towards it, right?
That's a really awful feeling, though, to be really excited or anticipate loving something, and then it's a really empty feeling, because it's like you want to love it, and hug it, and there's just nothing there for you, and then everyone else online's like, "Wow, it's so great."
But I do think I could get there. It just requires me to get a bunch of knowledge that I do not have the time to acquire to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very valid. Very valid. Very valid. All right, let's go back to the positive land of joy. So I could have picked a few games here. But I'm going to go with Radiant Silvergun because I love talking about it a lot. And it's a game I think everyone should play regardless of the genres you like. Because this was the game that made me really like love shooters, or shmups, you like to call them that. I played a lot of them. I mean, I played the Gradius series. I played Life Force. I played Musha Elise, Thunder Force. Like, I played all the heavy hitters. And I really like all those games a lot, and I think they're awesome. But I got a Sega Saturn after it had been canceled. Like, it was they're no longer making new games for it. Significantly after, and I was determined to play this game, like Radiant Silvergun. For one, it just has an amazing name. Like, Radiant Silvergun is such a cool, meaningless but cool name for a game. Shiny, right? I think it's supposed to be the sword thing that you swing around. That's the Radiant Silvergun. But anyway, yeah. So I got the Saturn, and it's the first thing I ever modded, and no one was making games for it. Bernie Stolar had put a fork in it. It was done, so I wasn't wrong. So anyways, the first thing I bought, I remember buying the mod chip off of Racket Boy, and then opening it up and soldering it in there, so I could play burnt games on it. And Radiant Silvergun was the first one I popped in there. And I had so much fun with that game, and I was so like addicted to it. I kept wanting to play, and I still, to this day, if I have a couple minutes and I want to sit down and just relax to a game really quick, Radiant Silvergun is always the game that I put on. It is just, there's something about it. It's almost like meditative to me. Like it's just relaxing. I love the music, the gameplay. I love that you start with all the weapons and that you utilize them in different situations throughout the game. I don't think it's an overly hard shmup either. I think most of the ones that I mentioned before, most of the shmups I mentioned are all, at least for me, significantly harder than Radiant Silvergun is. And if it's not, you can just save your game. Because as you play it, your weapons power up. And the more you use a weapon, the more it powers up and gets stronger. And you can save your progress. So then you start the next time with your weapon where it was when you died. And it can, like, I have a save going back to like 2008.
Oh, wow.
With it's like super overpowered, just, you know, to be crazy. Not necessarily the right way to play the game, but it's kind of crazy. But anyway, super fun game. In my opinion, the best shmup, and it made me like other shmups more. Like, it's one of my favorite genres now, and I love so many of those games. And Radiant Silvergun, for whatever reason, really jived with me in a way that none of the other ones did. I also think it's a really great graphical showcase for the Saturn. One of the better looking 3D games on the Saturn.
For sure, yeah.
And I still like that version the best. I've tried the Steam version. I've tried the 360 version. I like the Saturn version the best.
I get it. Makes sense. Now, Radiant Silvergun's one of those, like, I love shoot 'em ups, and like, man, like, there's some great ones like you mentioned already, but like Radiant Silvergun's one of those. I appreciate it for what it is. I really, really like the idea of playing it. I like playing it for short bursts, but it's not one that I can sit through. It's like that in Ikaruga. Like, I really, really appreciate them, but like, give me something that's just a little more, I hate to say plain Jane, but like, give me something that's a little more down to earth, like a Sky Shark, or like, I like the Toaplan games a lot.
Oh, I love those too.
The mid 80s and early 90s.
I feel similarly about Ikaruga. As you just described. For whatever reason, Radiant Silvergun but it makes me, like, I always loved Gradius. I loved Galaga growing up. That's one of my favorites. I love most of the Genesis heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I always liked Life Force. Like, I always liked them. But I wouldn't say it was like one of my favorite genres. And Radiant Silvergun was the game that really made me give a second look to them and really appreciate them for more than just like I don't know. Maybe read too much into it, but it's really fun, and it's, you know, and there's some really awesome ones obviously on the PC Engine too.
Yeah.
But Radiant Silvergun for me is just a rockin' good time. And the music's fantastic. The music to me almost doesn't fit it because it's like basically Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Like the same instrumentation, same composer. But it's great and I love it. All right, Jack, tell me a surprise.
All right. So I've got a few on my list, but I know we've got limited time here tonight. So I'm just going to go with my other choice, 007 GoldenEye for the N64. Now, I tell you, I really wanted to get an N64. As somebody that had a Super Nintendo, did not get a Saturn, did not get a PlayStation. We were kind of a Nintendo household at that point. We had a Nintendo, we had a Super Nintendo, or actually we didn't have a Nintendo, we had a Game Boy, and we had a Super Nintendo. But I really liked the Super Nintendo. Final Fantasy was where it was at for me. And like all the commercials for the N64, the kiosks at the Toys R Us where I got to play Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. I was super excited for it. Just really wanted to get it. Anyway, what ended up happening was my mom ended up finding one. She told me she wasn't planning on getting it until Christmas. But what ended up happening was, I guess one of our like family friends bought one and then didn't want it because they wanted to go get a PlayStation. So they gave it to my mom for like half price and gave her all the games and the controllers and everything for it. or at least that's the story my mom told me. And so I got an N64, and the only game I got for it was GoldenEye 007. And keep in mind, this is 96, so I am 14 years old. I really do not know James Bond other than I know of the GoldenEye movie that is out in theaters or had just come out in theaters. And so it was something that really wasn't on my radar at all. And man, I tell you what, as soon as I pop that cartridge in and turn the system on for the first time, and you get that wham with the rotating Rare logo and the Nintendo logo, I was just like, okay, I think I want to see where this game goes. And from there, it was just, I was like, oh, it's a first-person shooter. Oh, it's actually fun. Oh, this is a very unique way of playing this. Oh, there are stealth sections, and like it's not just, hey, shoot everybody. Like, I'm a big Doom fan. I'm a big boomer shooter fan. I didn't think that a game like that could really be unique as it was. Like it was more than just, hey, here's point A, here's point B, go kill everything in between, get all the keys and get out of there. It was, no, some of these levels, if you're playing it on the harder difficulty levels, you gotta sneak around. You can't set off any alarms. You gotta go put the tracking device on this thing, or you've got to go blow up these things with your remote mines. And you can't be caught. Don't be seen by the video cameras, things like that. And it really made me think that there was more to first person shooters than just, like I said, going around killing everybody. And not only that, but like the game looked great for like a first gen N64 game. It looked amazing. Just you could see Ken Lob's face right there on every bad guy you found. And not only that, but when you shot him in the leg, he reached for his leg like you heard him. Or if you shot him in the neck, he grabbed his neck and was like, ah. And you shot him in the crotch and he went down just screaming in pain. And it was one of the coolest things I had ever seen in a video game at that point. And just the interactivity with it was eye-opening. And the music was great. And then when I found out the multiplayer was even better than the single player, like it stayed in my N64, I think, for I'm pretty sure about at least 8 months. I don't think it came out for any other games for 8 months. Like that game was that N64 might as well have just been a GoldenEye machine for a better part of its existence.
I think that was true for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Like something about running around playing slappers on one of the levels was just, I think, the epitome of first person shooter multiplayer stuff in 1997, 1998. Because like, yeah, sure, Quake was around, Doom 2 was around, but running around just slapping the heck out of people was so much fun and so silly.
Lots of booming too, lots of explosions. It was great.
Yeah.
But we have neglected the chat, and it's my bad. I've not hit it up yet. But there's quite a bit on there. So Logan, if you want to hit up the chat.
Sure.
You can go ahead and start at the beginning.
Yep, I'm going to start at the beginning. Johnny Graphic says, yes, Battle for Bikini Bottom is great. The remaster is very faithful too. Yes, I've heard great things about that game. We've got Gordestein says howdy. I think someone's mic is picking up the audio. Yeah, we've been having a little bit of feedback issue tonight.
Trying to track it down. Actually, it's a new phenomenon, and I'm not completely sure where it's coming from because everyone's using headphones. So I'll do my best to track it down for the next show.
And then Maximus Prime says, I think people were surprised how good RE7 was after how bad RE6 was. Most people were very happy with them going back to survival horror and losing the action genre.
Yeah, RE7 was a big surprise for me, especially after 6. I was not expecting much from 7, but I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And then this is in response to the multiplayer hat conversation from Maximus Prime. Breakman, no, that is the slippery slope to the dark side.
So reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we'll have revenge. I've been holding that one.
No.
All right, continue, Logan.
And then Gordestein says they agree with Jess's take on Baldur's Gate 3. Maximus Prime says, I thought Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix was going to be good. I was wrong. The gameplay was too boring. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's not bad. They tried to shoehorn multiplayer into it, and the multiplayer just didn't work because you get into a room, it's like, hey, everybody wants to be Hulk. Nobody wants to be Hawkeye, or nobody wants to be Captain America. And so, yeah, you just have weird things like that. But
Best Avengers game is
it
the
was
arcade.
kind of samey. Yeah, although, I mean, yeah, you have to give it points for you know, some of the voiceover work for sure. But it's a decent beat 'em up.
All right. And then Maximus Prime says, I think in response to Baldur's Gate 3, bruh, just I get that, but I've gotten used to it, so I've learned to live with it. And then Maximus Prime also says, I liked Warhammer Space Marine 2 way more than I thought, but I don't vibe with the fast pace of Doom. I will still play Doom, but I won't put hundreds of hours in it. And then Johnny Graphics says, Radiant Silvergun is basically a perfect game.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Johnny.
And then Maximus Prime says, I couldn't get into Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask until I was older.
I still can't.
I try to get. I was liking it, and now I can't. It's too much fetching for me. I don't want to fetch.
Gold fetch quests.
I love the music though, and I love a lot of things about it though. Like it's just the structure of it. I'm not a fan of.
Heard.
And latest message from Maximus Prime in response to, we're about to hit the chat. I'll brace myself, break.
We are so mean. We are the meanest people ever.
Glad I
Right.
didn't
No,
offend anybody too much with my Baldur's Gate takes.
I think you're okay. But no, we appreciate everybody talking up on the chat.
Yeah.
And we apologize for not getting everybody.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the chat. I'm sorry I didn't go to it sooner. I'm usually better about that, but really appreciate it. If you want to chat, go ahead and type it in the YouTube thing, and we will check it out. All right, we're going to do. Logan, do you want to do a story, or do you want to hop right into, or do you want to do your next pick on the good surprise?
I think I'm more interested in my bad surprise one.
Okay, well, we're getting close to the end, so I think no holds barred at the moment.
Cool.
So
Okay,
go ahead.
I'm
and
going to do a bad surprise then.
Okay.
So my next pick is kind of more of a specific instance to me, but it was really confusing. So I played Skyrim for the first time last year and immediately started modding the heck out of it.
Did you put the Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon mod in?
No, not that one.
Every time I think of that guy, I think Bonesaw is ready.
Mostly what I was doing was like installing a ton of graphics mods.
Okay.
Because I am a massive graphics nerd. And eventually, we also were playing the multiplayer Skyrim mod that is surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't the best way to start getting introduced to Skyrim playing it multiplayer, but it was a lot of fun. Although, at some point in the middle of this modding adventure, I started a new save of the game to try it in single player and noticed that in the initial cutscene in the cart, the gate didn't open and the horse just kept walking and started phasing through the wall and the cart started rolling along the outer wall of the city, and I was stuck on the cart, and the story was just not progressing, and I was infinitely rolling away.
Open world jank, yay!
Yeah. So I uninstalled all the mods, tried it again. That happened again. And then I uninstalled the game and reinstalled it, and that happened again.
Oh, whoa.
So the game just eternally bricked.
Oh.
And I have not been able to play Skyrim since.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The destroyer of worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tragedy.
It is tragic.
Yeah. I have since factory reset my PC. I haven't been brave enough to launch Skyrim yet, but
Bad
maybe
memories.
I should see what happens.
For the dark times.
That's the
For
most
the mod.
Skyrim thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I love that game.
anything
It's so
Bethesda
awful.
in general, just let's see how we can break it.
I love it. It's so bad.
All right, we're gonna move on here for this part to best story surprise, and we're gonna have to potentially have a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know about the story for this next game that Jess is about to talk to, you should go to BreakmanX.com and register and play around there for a while. Jess, take it away.
Yes. So major spoilers for the Dragon Age franchise.
Oh no.
Like major. I cannot overstate this. Major spoilers for Dragon Age. So if you don't want them, leave now. Because Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition have two of the most deeply upsetting twists in any games I've ever played. To the point where great, love it. I'm all for them. But it made me so deeply angry when I played them. Which is, of course, in Dragon Age 2, when Anders decides that he's just gonna blow up the Chantry without consulting you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you have done, essentially in the toilets. And I have never been so deeply angry with a character before in my life than when I played that game for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was even angrier when Inquisition rolled around.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because they managed to get me again. Because when Solus cuts off my arm and walks away, I remember just putting the controller down and walking away and be like, I cannot believe I let them do this to me again. It's still one of my favorite reveals for a villain in a video game ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have your opinions on how they followed through on that in Vilgar.
Man,
I certainly do.
I must misremember Inquisition, or maybe my playthrough is just a lot different because I know Solus is the bad guy. By the time you get to the end, you realize Solus is the actual bad guy. But I do not remember him cutting off my arm at the end of it in the epilogue or anything like that.
He does it because you got the anchor,
uh-huh.
and if he doesn't, it's going to kill you. And so he does you do lose your arm.
Man, I do not remember that at all.
Yeah.
Man.
I also made the wonderful decision in my first Inquisition playthrough as an elf to romance him.
Oh.
Which was, I think, the best thing I could have done from a story standpoint, because it's the biggest gut punch you can get. But I was angry for a couple days afterwards, very irrationally.
I believe it. Yeah.
So those are my two favorites. I also think Inquisition, from a gameplay standpoint, is one of my least favorite games ever. It did not need to be open world like it is. I do not want to do any more requisitions.
The hinterlands are way too huge.
I hate them so much.
Yeah.
But the characters are great. And I also think the Iron Bowl ending, if you don't save the Chargers, and extra so if you're also romancing Iron Bowl, is also brutal. And extremely well done in a very angry, rage-inducing way.
Yeah,
And so those are like two of my favorites.
I've got to go back and I got to go see where my save of Inquisition's at, because now I'm like I said, I must have missed all that, or I must have blocked it all out of my memory, because I do not remember a thing about it. All I remember was firing up Veilguard for the first time and be like, oh hey, there's Solus, and oh hey, there's a oh shoot, what's the dwarf's name?
Varric.
Yes, Varric. Yes.
Varric.
Yeah. I was like, oh
That
yeah,
one
hey.
was also, that one's one of my least favorite story twists. Not because I think it's bad, but because it just like personally upsets me greatly, because Varric's one of my favorite video game characters ever.
Yeah.
Like it was perfect, and I called it from the beginning, and like it needed to happen, and I'm still obsessed with it. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep. I can't disagree.
I'm glad you did that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
For sure. So, sorry if the stream got a little choppy for a second. My someone was watching something on my Plex server. So we share a family Plex server. So I just noticed it fired up. So I shut that down. So sorry, family, for watching Plex. But show has to come first for a little bit. Turn it back on in 8 minutes. About. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the positive here, because I have to share this. I don't think I've talked about this experience ever on the show. So back in the 90s, mid to late 90s, 3D games were all the rage. Everything had to be 3D. Like every game coming out was 3D, and every 2D game was really getting destroyed in the reviews. Like if you weren't Symphony of the Night, you were like the worst thing to ever happen. If you were a 2D game at that period, the reviews were just hard. So I remember Mega Man 8 and reading like the previews, and I remember reading in the magazines that it was just not very good, and like the voice acting was terrible, which it was really bad. But really basically saying it is irredeemable. And I'm a huge Mega Man fan. The most active IRC channel I was ever in was the Mega Man channel on Espernet, going back to the days. And even people there were like not super hyped about it. And so I was like kind of no one thinks it's going to be any good. But I would see the screenshots, and the screenshots would really excite me, because I love the art style. I thought it looked awesome. And so I eventually got it and also I didn't think it was coming to the PlayStation. I wouldn't have a Saturn for like 10 years. So I got the PlayStation version, and I turned on it, and I love it. It's still one of my favorite Mega Man games. I love Mega Man 8. I wish that there was a Mega Man game that continued in that vein. I love that 32-bit art style. X4 same way, although after I'd played 8, I knew X4 was going to be awesome, because X4 is like amazing, and it's the same, art style basically, but Xified. But Mega Man 8, I love. The voice acting is terrible. There's no way around that. That's whatever. But the gameplay, the art style, everything beyond the voice acting, I absolutely love, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it, because I was so craving a 2D game at that point. I mean, I like 3D games too, but I wanted a 2D game so bad. It was good, and that one really hit that void. And it was also like the time where I was most into Mega Man. So it was a nice, perfect storm of Mega Man-ness.
I can't go along that journey with you, man. Like I'm just not. I'm not a huge Mega Man 8. It looks really good when you see it in screenshots. When you see it in motion, it looks really good. But I can't. That gameplay's it's too slow compared to like a 7 or an X, and it's just I think that's what gets me more than anything else.
Jump, slide. Now, I don't know why it doesn't bother me. I've heard that too. There's something about it that really rings.
But again,
I know the music's great too. And if you haven't heard the Saturn version of Mega Man Stage, good. Both versions, the PlayStation and the Saturn version. Both.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to yuck somebody's yum. I'm just saying that, hey, yeah, that's not my cup of tea.
That is an awesome phrase. I wish we still named the shows off of our phrases, because that would be the name of the show. That is fabulous. Jack always comes up with those too. All right, so Jack, are you going to talk about something you love, hate, or story surprise?
I think I want to talk about one. I'm torn here because I think I want to talk about one of my best story surprises. So I will try to keep this short because I know we're running up on time. So I am 9 years old, 10 years old. Super Mario Brothers 3 is out. I am playing it for the first time with my cousin. We've locked ourselves in the basement basically for like a week while we're on summer vacation, and I'm visiting his house. So we are both there. We are both exploring, and we get through World 1, World 2, World 3, awesome water world. This is really cool. And then we hit World 4, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all giant. This is the coolest thing ever. And like just the way they played with it in the levels, we did not get past World 4 the entire week. That was where we got stuck. I think that's where they start to introduce some of the crazier challenges as far as like platforming challenges goes. And like that's kind of where we got stuck. But man, seeing the giant Goombas, seeing the giant question blocks, seeing the giant Koopa Troopas, like there was just something absolutely bonkers about that. And seeing some of the other levels where they switch back and forth between small and large, and it was truly a moment that had my tiny brain just go. And I was just kind of, I wanted to see what happened next. I was so frustrated that I didn't have a Nintendo at the time, that I think maybe like a week or two after we got back from that vacation, I went out and rented a Nintendo with Super Mario Brothers 3 and tried to get as far as I could. And I got to World 5, but like it was probably another year or so before I even sniffed the ending of that.
That's awesome. I will go with you on that journey, because I also remember Giant World and thinking that was like the cool. I was like, how can the Nintendo do this? Like how can it process graphics of such quality? Like I was astounded. You never seen anything like that before.
What? It wasn't just that. Like from my perspective, it was just like there's something like Nintendo games. You know, you've got your Mega Mans, which have short stages, but they're all a little bit different. And you've got your Super Mario Brothers 2s, your Super Mario Brothers, your Zeldas, your Adventures Link. Like you feel like you have a handle on what the limits of a game cartridge are. And then something like Super Mario Bros. 3 comes around and you're like, how the hell did they fit all this in? Like there is literally something new in each place that we have gone. And it just blew my brain away when I saw that.
I don't think that's been bested either. I mean, I love Super Mario World a lot. But Super Mario Brothers 3...
Yeah, I mean, like as far as
3.
variety goes and introducing new gameplay elements, like the whole way through. Yeah, I can't disagree with you. At least not off the top of my head.
Well, this was a really fun show. I loved hearing your surprises, good and bad. Jess, you have a question from Johnny Graphics in the chat. Logan, if you want to read that real quick, and then we'll do our hit off.
So, Jess, did you end up liking Veilguard? It seems like they streamlined the gameplay a lot, which is great for me, but I get the sense that it might feel kind of thin for OG fans.
So I went into Veilguard being like, I don't care. I'm going to love this game. Like I had made that decision and I honestly had a great time. I loved the gameplay. I always loved to be a mage, but I am really bad about actually sticking back in combat. Like I also just kind of like want to run in the middle of everything.
We share that
and
too.
So the fact that I was able to like do that in Veilguard, because you got to do the magic and have the dagger, and it was perfect. I thought it was super fun. What they decided to do with like the story and the lore, if you really get into it, kind of goes a little bit insane. And there are some decisions that they've made that I really don't like, but none of that was enough to like detract from how much I truly enjoyed the game. I thought the characters were great. The companions are some of my favorites.
They are.
I
all
think it's
fantastic.
my favorite. I think it's my favorite group of companions since 2.
Yeah.
So if I thought that there was going to be a world where we would ever get another game, I would be nervous. But I think it's becoming glaringly obvious that that's probably never going to happen. So I just rewrite in my head all the things that I don't agree with that they did with the canon and have a great time with the game.
Cool.
I think that's
Awesome.
the best way to approach it.
Well, Jack, what's your
Yeah.
last word here before we head off into the sunset?
Oh boy. Last word. Go play Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's great.
Is it bananas?
It is bananas. It's one of those games where it's so open and they allow you to do so much that you always feel like you're the smartest person in the world when you figure out a way to get around a particular challenge they've set up for you. It's like Portal in that sense. Like you could just punch your way through just about anything, and it's bonkers. Go check it out if you got a Switch 2. It is awesome.
Which 2 is off to a good start, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo's firing on some pistons.
Hey, that Mario Odyssey team, they've got their stuff down. If that's their first output on this system, I can't wait to see what's next.
For sure. 2 games now.
Mm-hmm.
2 games. Logan, what would you like to say? Last word.
Yeah, I'm excited for Fantastic Four. That's looking like an incredible movie. And I'm not going to watch it next weekend because I think I'm going to try and see it while I'm in LA because there's an IMAX there. But yeah, I cannot wait.
Very cool.
And Jess.
Yeah, second the Fantastic Four, and hopefully if things work out, Logan and I will actually be seeing that together with our other friend Aiden in LA and IMAX. I think it would be absolutely amazing. And
Which theater are
hopefully
you
by
going
next
to?
week.
The Grove AMC probably.
Yeah.
Oh, the ArcLight's not around anymore, is it? It's not. It's gone. It was
I don't
amazing.
think so, yeah.
It was too good. It was too good for the world. COVID killed it, actually.
Fair enough.
It was the greatest theater I've ever been
Unfortunately, makes
to.
sense. Mhm.
But awesome. Very cool.
On that note,
That's going to be fun. That'll be fun. The
Oh,
Grove's
yeah.
got a great theater, too. I'm sorry. I just really wanted you to get to go to the ArcLight.
You have to
Um,
let us know how the movie is because I'm excited to see it too, and I don't think I'll get to see it this weekend either.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. I saw Superman, and it was really good. I really, really liked it a lot. I'll talk about it another time. But I was actually surprised how much I liked it. I liked it way more than I thought I was. I thought I would. I'm not the biggest Superman fan in general, to be honest with you. I've never really loved that character that much. But there's something about the way it was executed that was it made me feel like a kid, like when I saw the Christopher Reeve version way back in the day. Like that's literally made me feel like a kid again. But anyway, thank you for listening to Game Show, and we will see you same time next week.